We come from the non-visible, non-physical. We come from where there's no speech. That is our natural state. So to be in physical form and to use speech is a very different thing. When we come into, is alien to us, really. And when we come into this life, we forget. And it's like our memory is wiped. That happens for many reasons. But I was one of those who, apparently it seems to be quite unusual, but I didn't forget. I remembered. I was born being very aware of exactly sort of like what I was, which is what we all are. So what I'm telling you isn't any different for you as it is for me. It's just people's levels of consciousness and awareness. I was aware of being this vast consciousness. I knew I'd come from somewhere else. And to try and keep, if you imagine yourself being aware of the things you're aware of now, and as a human being and in physical form, and then you shrink that into a tiny little body, you're going to feel a bit limited. I was very consciously aware of that. And before I go much further, I want to say to you, everything I am saying and everything you read in any book and everything any speaker or so-called teacher tells you always comes through their own consciousness. Everything is filtered through each individual. So only take on board that which feels right for you. Because only that which feels right for you is right for you. There is no right, there is no wrong. My experience was being bullied and experiencing a lot of family deaths. Those things, and especially when you're bullied and you lose people that you love and you think they're going to be there forever and all that, what happens then is you start to feel disempowered. So my conscious awareness of who and what I was, it's like I arrived here and I knew I would grow up, and I felt quite excited about growing up and all the things I'd be able to do. And it's like I remembered some reasons as to why I was here, but I didn't know what it was. I certainly don't know I didn't know what it was as I was growing up. So I was excited about growing up. After I'd been alive for a short while, I wasn't that excited about being here anymore. I wasn't that keen. I thought, I'd had this sort of like great things, like, oh, I love people, I love life. After a while, I thought, no, I don't. No. Because I thought, no, they're not very nice. And then I realised it's actually not that people weren't very nice. It's and what it is that I like and love is like who and what we really are. And what's happened is we haven't been consciously aware of that. And it was necessary. It was necessary. It's what we chose. Then I experienced quite a few things. Like I saw, I got up, tipped the bedroom upside down searching for this cat, and we didn't have a cat. There was no cat. It was the first time I actually saw a spirit. Then when my dad died, I saw him after he died. And then some years later, he gave me a teaching session, also from spirit. Now that teaching session was very powerful, because the thing is, with my dad dying, it started to help me reconnect to the memory I'd had as a baby, about there being more to life. And that wasn't just it. So what I'm talking about at the moment is the journey of my awareness, coming into my consciousness more. The reason I'm talking about me is because when you wonder how you're doing in life, and you think about God or Source or whatever you want to call it, if you look around you, you'll see it. So if you take a moment, do that for a moment, just have a quick glance around the room. Just indulge yourself, have a look around the room. The thing is, what you're actually looking at is yourself. You're looking at different aspects of you all over the place. And I must say, I think I'm looking pretty good today. You look great. You look really good, which is nice for me. You look good. So it's like, because this is what I'm resonating with. Okay, yeah, this is good. So the other thing is, what you're also seeing is what people call God or source energy. It doesn't matter what you call it. It doesn't make any difference to what it is. But we are all different aspects of that. So in talking about my awareness, I'm talking about yours as well. We all, as I got older, I had this thing, some people call them visits, some people call them dreams. When you experience them, you know it's actually a visit. I dreamt that I went to see my dad in spirit. And I was sitting, looking through what would look like an attic square in a house. And he was sitting there. And he said, you think I don't know what's going on? He said, you think, like, family been born in different countries. He said, you don't think I know? He said, look. And as soon as he mentioned it, I looked and I saw it. Then he said, you think I don't know what's going on with you and your mum? And as soon as he mentioned it, I saw it. And he was showing me and telling me all sorts of things. And from that was like this instant thing came to me. I wasn't very happy about coming back, I admit that. I said I wanted to stay, and he said no. Next thing I knew, I woke up in bed. But the thing about that was, what I got from that was, everything is a thought away, and that is our natural communication. Everything is instant. if you can believe it and you can experience it, if you can think it, you know, it's the non-visible, non-physical, everything is. Those are more true of who and what we actually are than anything. So I went through life, and I trained as a nurse, and I did lots of other work and things like that over the years. And I was sort of like, I went through a massive waking up thing about 20 or 30 years ago now, where everything that had been happening before on little scales started to happen on a grand scale. I was seeing, sensing, hearing, everything. It was just overload. And then over a period of years, things started to integrate. But from then, and just around that time, I was asked to see people, and I wouldn't. And the reason I wouldn't, and the reason I said no to every single thing I was asked, was fear, resistance. That's putting it mildly, more like terror, actually. But yeah, seriously, you know, but we all have this. And we have it in different ways on different levels, and it's there for a reason. It isn't something to be hated or disagreed with or argued with or anything. Mine was about divine timing. If that hadn't been in place, I might have been in a different place, in a different spine in my time. It wasn't meant to be that way. All of you chose to be born in this time when the vibrations of the planet and of each and every one of us, and all life in itself, those vibrations are raising. That is the waking up process. That is the beginning of what people refer to as soul alignment. We are living in the most amazing times that have ever been on this planet. Seriously, we really are. You see, my fears are totally irrelevant because I know that it doesn't make any difference how fearful I may have been or be at times. That can't be a reason for me not to do anything anymore. And that is the same for all of you too.